South Dakota deer hunting is pretty much a mass disorganization as soon as you show up. It's about 17 hours from home. We had the big drive yesterday. Second time here this year, which is something I wanted to do for a long time. Finally get an opportunity to do it this year. We are living the po' boy, cheapo motel life, which I'm thankful for because at least I have money to do that and I don't have to camp when it's freezing cold outside. It was just ridiculous this morning trying to get everything ready, and essentially we weren't ready enough to go to our number one spot, which is fine because we came to a backup spot that was really good. In fact, Michael, we thought was going to kill a buck this morning. We had deer at 7 yards twice and thought the buck was going to be following the does because that's what he was doing earlier, and he never showed. So I'm assuming he walked north to those other trees up there instead of going south down below us down here. But we rattled a little bit. Nothing yet. It's October 28th, so still a little early for that to maybe work, but I thought there was a chance. We got cold weather pretty much the rest of the hunt. My ears are falling off. I still am not as organized as I need to be. I don't know where my beanie is, and I need a neck gaiter if I want to survive anything. Like an all-day sit. Our best spot that we want to go to is the all-day type deal. It's like 2 mile walk back in there, and it just ain't worth coming out and going back in. So it's about 10 a.m. We're going to climb down, break down, and go put a trail camera out because we watched every deer in this place go by and lick a scrape, lick a branch. The buck that Michael was going to shoot worked the scrape for like 2 minutes. I don't know if we got any footage of that because it was chaos. We had those 2 little bucks right in front of us as we were getting set up. It was ridiculous, but we're going to go set that Moultrie mobile camera out over there, take some inventory of this place, go back, get warmed up, maybe drink some hot water, Eric style, and kind of get everything ready and organized. So we might kill a buck tonight, but if we don't, we're going to for sure kill one tomorrow because we're going way back and we're going to find a toad or 2.
With the ridiculously cold weather and the 2.5 mile walk, it's almost impossible to make it back here on time.
this deer paradise down here. Michael spotted that little forky buck right down here in the bottom. So he hunkered down. Well, ends up eyeglass around, find a big 8-point. We're sitting here watching those deer, trying to decide what to do about it. And a giant buck and a little buck come from around the corner and work down here. And they just do a big mix of who knows what. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, how do we set up on these things? And what are they going to do? And just freaking out, you know. Well, I can tell you what they did. They went down here, checked all these scrapes, and then walked on the other side of the creek. Didn't use the crossing. And walked to where we were going to set up this morning. And if that's just not irony, I don't know what is. So, we have some options. And I think what we're going to probably do is we're going to go up the hill, warm up, eat some lunch, sit in the sun, glass the bottoms. And then for the afternoon, you know, probably literally afternoon, we're going to go down and set up on those bucks because I know about where they're going to end up, I believe. And there's a real good chance, a 50% chance at least, that they come back this direction. I would say they're using a food source over here somewhere, probably. And those are two big, big, big bucks. Like giant, one of them's a giant. But the smaller one is the more dominant buck, that 8-point. That giant buck is like a 10-point with a drop tine on his right beam. Spooky, spooky deer. Right now, we're going to get up there and warm up. We're not going to make a move on these deer right now because it's just a good way to booger them.
After we watch those bucks clear out, we put a plan in motion to find a tree to cut those bad boys off for the evening hunt.
We kind of turned into ground hunters this morning. Got in here a little late, but it didn't really matter because deer were going everywhere. But right now, the wind is perfect. It's cold. We just endured like 10 minutes of the craziest snowstorm ever. And then the sun came out, and it looks like we might get more snow. It's just coming through in bands. I'm hoping it doesn't put the deer down. I hope they end up getting up. If they do, there's a chance that we shoot a giant buck in here tonight. We got two huge rubs right here, right next to us, and a brand new scrape right here behind us on October 30th. I mean, it's happening right now. So, this is about as exciting as it gets in the deer woods. We just need the deer to cooperate. Seeing these deer.
That was one of the coldest days I've ever hunted as far as the way it felt. I've hunted colder temperatures, but with the snow and the wind, it was just about as bad as it gets. Yeah. Sunrise, 8:11. Take 30 minutes off for that. That's shooting light. Takes an hour and 45 from the truck to the stand. We gave ourselves an extra 30 minutes on top of that and left out very early this morning. And we're going to go down in that little hole where we first saw the big 8-point in that forky scraping around, and probably sit there until 11 at least if we haven't seen anything. But I really do feel like this is about as good a chance as I've had at shooting a buck from a tree stand on this trip. It's like a brisk 14 or 15 right now. So something we can deal with. It's supposed to be 8 or 9 miles an hour at daylight, which will be real nice. Enough wind cover to keep you safe in the tree. You don't have to feel like you got to be just dead calm. But you can still probably hear a deer coming, which would be awesome. I feel as if we're going to see bucks. I feel as if we're going to see bucks in range. And I think we might get a shot.
heartbroken over a love you couldn't win. Had you ever thought of starting over? Starting from the bottom again. Starting from the bottom again.
You can't not look at this landscape and just appreciate it. I know it's not the Rockies or the Keys, but it's beautiful in a tough, rugged way. I don't know. I can be kind of deep sometimes, but sometimes it's not appreciated. But like, you look at stuff like this and you think about people that were here on this landscape before you or I. You know, you had Indians that made a living out here. You had frontiersmen, buffalo hunters, all seeing this stuff and knowing how good it was. It's pretty neat to see like just how tough this country can be. And our generation is kind of facing a crisis of like identity, and men especially. You know, it's actually real medical stuff, you know, with the low testosterone stuff that guys are dealing with. And you just can't not come out here and feel like you're not getting some kind of a boost on that front. You know, you freeze your tail off, walk. We literally walked 3 miles to get to where we hung in our stand this morning. And I'm not complaining because I'm thankful for it. There's a pretty popular influencer these days that kind of talks about struggle a little bit. You know, he'll say something like, "You cold? Good." Right? It's kind of funny. He makes a good point, but it's kind of very basic, you know, kind of on an elementary level. However, James, the brother of Christ, who did not become a believer until after the resurrection of his brother, put things in a more eloquent, you know, spirit-filled, Christ-filled way. James says, "Consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance." That's in James chapter 1. In all 5 chapters, or 6 chapters of James, I can't remember how many there's, kind of speak to faith in action and what that looks like. And you can come at that from a faith-based perspective, like I do, and understand that trials make you stronger. But on a practical basis, if you choose not to even, you know, have the belief side of that to it, it's still great advice to understand that as men and women too, we need to put ourselves or endure things. We need to put ourselves in difficult situations because there's no room for growth elsewhere. And it's a good thing when you have that kind of stuff. Now, it's not good to push yourself beyond your limits, right? We got a doe looking at us right now down there. Where did she come from? I guess she's hearing me talking. But it is good to force yourself to do things that are outside your comfort zone. And when I say comfort zone, I don't just mean things that you know how to do. I mean things that are not comfortable. This morning was not comfortable when we were freezing cold. My eyelashes were freezing together while we were walking in. But I feel like I have vitality now. I feel good. And we just watched a buck get up from his bed at 1 o'clock and do some cruising. And he didn't come our way. It stinks. But you know what? That's how it goes. And you need to learn that kind of stuff. That like things don't just always fall into place. You have to work for things, and sometimes they still won't fall into place. It's just about the blessings you're sent. And you need to be thankful for when they're there. And you need to try to learn when they're not. So tonight, we're going to go over here, be really aggressive, and try to use the knowledge that we have acquired throughout this week to kill a big giant buck. Who knows, maybe we want to just chase that doe right now. We can just shoot him from here. Where's he going to go? Tell you this much, if we were set up in our tree over there, we'd be shooting at him right now. And that's a big dog. Son of a gun. It's the same scrape that we saw him at the other night. Assuming it's the same deer, ain't no telling, but either way, you can see my platform marks in that tree. Right there. I don't know if that's our buck from this morning or not. It looks like him, but I thought the buck from this morning had some extra tines on that left side. That's probably him. He's just smelling does. Something got his attention. Look at the neck on that thing. I'm gonna go across that down spot in the fence. I don't know, I feel like he's trying to decide what he wants to do. Yep, right across the down fence. Now the question for you, young Mike, is he gonna come back to these scrapes? If he can find other bucks, he'll stall out too. This stuff gets me going. We're just gonna get further back than they are. Good news is, I don't really think we have to go up and around anymore. We can cut right down the bottom, cross the creek, hang that back edge, be real sleuthy, because there's a drop off back there, because the actual river follows that bluff. We can hang down in the secondary bank of the river and get on the northeast side of all that and just be in the mix of the box. Let's go. We just gotta actually do it, not get analysis by paralysis. Is the baddest thing. You pair that with some decent wind, which we don't really have right now, and you are just so clear. Right now it's pretty quiet, but we're down in the riverbed, and it makes it to where we have these embankments on either side of us that kind of are sound barriers. We only have about another 100 yards to go till we're at like a primo pinch point for a southeast wind, what we're fixing to have in about 30 minutes. But that wind shift, I think, is what got the deer on their feet. So that makes me feel really good about this evening's movement. Right now, gonna go right up here, cross, go up and get one of those trees up there. There are going to be a number of deer within 300 yards of us at the moment. Looking back at this way, I'm not sure where the big giant buck is, but his does are just relaxed and feeding. There he is right there. He's just going to push those does around. There's just too many does. There's like 11 or 12 of them. He's thinking about us over here, though. If we had like a decoy right now, oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. He's a bad man. Really, I need those girls to go away. He's running her. Crap. these does across the creek and went that way. That's all I can figure. Let's see him, Michael. I see him. I knew it. We can get down there and get close. Yep, that's him for sure. Are you ready to make a stalk? he's walking mouth open, and that gives me hope. I shot a deer in South Dakota in 2020. Here we are 3 years later. I shot a deer in 2020 that I hit high in the shoulder with a 600 grain arrow. It got a 0 penetration, fixed blade broadhead, all the works. And ever since then, I've been reevaluating my arrow setup. I'm gonna be honest, right now, I'm not happy with my arrow setup, but it's because on my elk hunt, I broke my sight. The fiber optic broke when I fell on a rock. So I don't have my 535 grain arrows. I have my 416 grain arrows, which I've been testing on pigs and stuff. They smoke stuff if you make a good shot. And that should be a good shot. Penetration just isn't what I want, but it's not in the shoulder, it's behind the shoulder. So I'm praying that it's good enough. It was weird. The buck left out. First off, I missed him on the first shot. Insane, right? The buck left out after I hit him. And he didn't have an arrow in him. It had fallen out, which to me is a good sign. That means that it wasn't embedded in bone. It fell out, and he stood about 2 minutes open mouth. But if it is a single lung, it's lethal. I'll leave him tonight and come back and look for him tomorrow, just to be safe, because these deer can go for miles out here, man. So I'm sorry if he's not dead. I do my best. There's a chance that's the deer I just shot. So we made it back to the spot where I shot that deer last night. There are some other guys in here hunting that we just talked to. We're going to do our best to be respectful of their hunt. I kind of hate that we had to walk in here on them. But I got what I think is a dead deer on the ground. So kind of have to. And if we don't celebrate or go crazy too much, that's why. Because I don't want to blow this place out any worse than we have to for them. So we're going to sneak down here, find our arrow, find the spot of the shot, and then track the deer.
Our new friends agree to help with the search, and it doesn't take long for us to spot antlers. But somehow, the buck is still alive.
See if I can get closer. try it. I just can't believe this, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Pretty nuts.
Do what? Oh yeah, I'm good there. So, you said 480?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
About there, 475.
Okay. So I'm gonna be shooting a little bit low. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like, I don't know, he might be freaking ticked at me right now, but like, just, there is like a weird bond between hunters that I appreciate, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean,
You ready to go look at him? I think he's about expired.
I don't want to involve you guys program.
No, it's all right, dude. You're a part of the story now. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of this thing. Oh man. Look at the noggin.
That's a big deer.
He's a beautiful buck, man. Look at that thing. Sometimes you just don't have anything to say because just words do not. You can't even finish a sentence.
Yes, sir.
He's dead.
All right.
Dude, listen. This is the most dramatic thing that has ever happened to me in the woods.
Golly, dude.
So, we met some guys. Did I tell you about them?
Yeah, you told me that they were in there.
Yeah. So,
When you were going to talk to them.
yeah, real nice. Ends up they are filming some stuff too. Anyways, we go down. I found that arrow. We find blood like 3 different places. It's not good. I knew it was gonna be good. And I go to looking, and sure enough, I can see antler tips. And the deer's like just looking straight south. I stalk up to 30. I put 2 arrows in him, and he's still sitting there just panting. Like, I can tell he doesn't feel good. So I shoot a 3rd time, and it's not a good shot. And now I'm out of arrows. and I don't know what to do. And Jacob gives me an arrow, and I stalk up to 10 yards and shoot this deer with his arrow.
Oh my goodness.
It's insane.
What in the world? So was that deer looking at you?
Yeah, I walked up and he was looking at me in the eyeball at 10 yards.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually pretty traumatic, to tell you the truth. It was probably the most compassionate I've felt for an animal. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We don't really get to name deer on public land too much. You just kind of find them. And we made a video in 2017 called Nameless, which kind of plays on that concept. Tyler shot a giant buck in Kansas, and I filmed it. It was awesome. And this buck, we kind of jokingly named Slip, because he kept giving us the slip. The first morning we saw him, we were hanging in a tree trying to kill a different deer, and this buck came in to about 120 yards across the river and laid down. We didn't know it happened and thought he had like left us. So about 10-15, I grunt and rattle. This buck stands up and walks out of our lives. Oh no, it's over. Well, we go up, glass around, find him again. Make a huge loop, spook him with his does. They run out to like 150. We lose them for like 30 minutes, see other bucks in that amount of time, then finally see this buck with does, and he leaves the does, and that's whenever we made our move. It's on the ground stuff. You have to be aggressive. You have to really, like my dad would say, have your mind right. You gotta have a satisfied mind about things. You can't be questioning your abilities. You can't question what you should do in situations. You just have to be able to make moves on the fly. We went about 150 yards on the ground with this buck, pretty much in plain sight. He was kind of behind some trees, and got caught out in the open by him at about 130. And I kind of take 2 steps to the left and had a tree to kind of get behind. He knew we were there, but he didn't know what we were. I started grunting, and he curiously came in. He wasn't coming in trying to fight or, be dominant. He just wanted to know what was going on. And I ranged brush at 56, and he came in front of that, so I aimed low thinking he was right at 50, and I shot over his back. So I think he was even closer than that. He wheeled, stopped, came back around and gave me another shot, and it was just a blessing in its own way. The shot looked good. I can see the entrance from my side here. It was good. They just are the toughest animals, maybe to walk the planet. I don't know. I haven't met them all. I'm sure those brown bears up in northern Alaska are pretty tough too, but it's just crazy what these things can take. I've said it a few times. The amount of just pure rough weather and conditions that these things endure all winter and just live out here. I mean, we had to deal with it with all the best clothes that you can buy. This weekend got cold, and these things, God just put the stuff on them that they need just to live. And I'm just thankful that we can eat them, cherish them, admire their antlers, their throat patch, the caramel color of this thing. That was what's cool, is this deer was caramel, and a lot of the other bucks we were seeing were gray. He just had a different look about him. But yeah, so that shot was lethal, but it was not quick. And that's the worst part about hunting, is that it is not killing. As weird as that sounds, you're not guaranteed things to be fast. You try to make them as fast as you can, but it is definitely better than being ripped apart by coyotes or dying in a blizzard.
but I wished it would have been faster. The follow-up stuff, the finish today, was just more dramatics than I care to deal with. And I'm sorry that's how it was. But I'm thankful this is the end result. And I'll probably cherish this deer about as much as I ever have any deer, just because he taught me more about hunting and really more about who I am as a person than about near any other animal I've shot. I had to endure some physical hardships for sure on this, but just the emotional thing of just being 10 yards from an animal as they die is, after knowing it's your fault that's what's happening, tough to deal with. And it makes you consider what you're doing and understand the weight that comes along with taking the life of an animal. A lot of responsibility there, and I need to make sure that I'm upholding my end of the deal. I'm thankful for it. I talked about earlier how James says, consider it joy when you endure trials. And this trial has been endured over the last 24 hours. And I find joy in it for sure. But joy is not happiness. It's different. There's peace involved with joy. And it's a pretty peaceful place out here. It's quiet. All this killing and dramatics all happened, but right now the breeze doesn't know. The river doesn't care. Nor personifying inanimate things, but you get what I'm saying. Like the plains just persist on, and this is the story that's been told out here since these things were put here. It's just cool to just be a part of it. It's huge.